All right. Good morning, everybody. It is August 24th, Saturday morning. It is now 10:15 a.m. I thought I would take a moment here to introduce myself to you guys out there in online class land. I'll be posting another video in a little bit, by the way, where I talk about general directions for the class. Okay. But for now, I just wanted to say hi and let you more or less put a face to the name. Okay. Let me get a slip of coffee here. All right. So my name is Brad Ulrich, and I am a professor of art and design at Mid-Michigan College. Actually, I am also lead faculty, which means that I have the dubious honor of being the guy that does the scheduling and designs course content and all that fun administrative stuff that basically takes me away from the drawing board. Anyway, if you have any issues with while you're at mid and trying to pursue if it's like a degree in graphic design or visual arts, or have questions about scheduling or what class to take or something like that, I'm actually the guy to talk to. You can talk to your professors as well, but basically a lot of stuff has to get cleared through me. It's just a chain of command junk. Middle management. Okay, so anyway, back to the introduction stuff. Let's see. Well, I aside from being a professor of art and design, I'm actually working professional graphic designer and illustrator. More of the emphasis is on being an illustrator for me personally. I have a bachelor's degree, a BFA, Bachelor of Fine Arts, in graphic design. Got that about quite a while ago. But then I also have a Master of Fine Arts, an MFA, in illustration. Okay, so I do a lot of drawing and painting, both traditionally and digitally. As a matter of fact, here let's. I like doing a lot of portrait work and stuff like that. Okay, like this one right here. That's actually a portrait of my wife. She was good enough to set for me for a little bit, which she almost never does, and she hates this drawing, even though I thought it turned out pretty well. She just feels kind of weird about it. Then there's another one that I did a little while back. That's actually a sketch of one of the doctors, Doctor Who. This one in particular is the third Doctor, John Pertwee. It's one of my favorites. Yeah, and I am a huge sci-fi comic book and comic strip fan. As a matter of fact, above my drawing board right over there, actually, let's try. There we go. I actually collect vintage comic strip art. So I've got a couple of strips over my drawing board there. A Barney Baxter strip from 1942. Yeah, and Washtubs and Captain Easy strip from 1959, and then oh yeah, right over here. I haven't got this one framed yet. That needs to happen. This is a Dick Tracy strip by let's see, this was Rick Fletcher. He was actually a really good artist. I love the detail on these things. This was done with a brush, and you can tell, but the lines are so sharp and beautiful. Just gorgeous work. So I'm a real enthusiast about that kind of thing. Yeah, and that's where a lot of my efforts are going these days during the summer. Right now I'm working on a graphic novel that is, it's kind of an adventure thing. It's set in the 1st century AD, actually in the year 93. Not 1993, not 1893, 93. So I got to do a lot of research and stuff like that. But I'm a history buff, so it's all good. So working on that kind of stuff. Got some stuff that like this. This is a thing that I did that is a little 16-page science fiction story. So you got big bug-eyed aliens and crazy little monks and spaceships and junk like that. 16-page story got put into a couple of anthologies. That was kind of fun. Uh, yeah, they sold like nothing, but there you go. That wasn't my problem. I also teach a class at Mid, by the way, since we're talking about comics. That is comic book and graphic novel illustration, and so we every once in a while we'll publish a collection of student work. This was work by Richard Johnson, done a couple of years ago. So yeah, I really enjoy the comic stuff and all of that. Just do it where I can, when I can these days. Um, as far as like experience is concerned, previous experience prior to this stuff. Well, I mean, I started doing comics with some small press outfits back in the late '80s. I think my first first published thing was in 1987, '88, somewhere in there, and then just started doing more freelance stuff. Created a character called Commodore Dinosaur that was published through Cat's Paw, short-lived comic company there in the early '90s. Let's see, and then around that time, I started working at a newspaper doing ad layout and page layout and stuff like that. And it was a good experience. Terrible job though. Oh man, long hours, low pay, kind of stunk. So moved on from there. Let's see, worked in a sign shop as a graphic designer. That was kind of fun because the thing is, not only would we do design stuff, I spent my time at a computer. I'd say 80% of the time, but then the rest of the time we were fabricating these things and going out and installing them. It was the only job that I had where I was doing graphic design, but had to wear steel-toed boots. So it was pretty cool. It was we got to work on stuff as small as a business card or as big as we did this one sign for it was a billboard at a um, baseball diamond. And so this thing was steel and about 20 feet long. We had to get some extra guys to hoist it up and install it. It was a real job. That was a day I was glad I had the steel-toed boots on, let me tell you. Let's see. Yeah, and kind of fell into teaching sort of almost by mistake. I was working as a graphic designer and ran into a friend who said, "Hey, you did graphic design, right?" And I was like, "Well, I got a degree in it." And she goes, "Oh, well, call this guy." So she gives me this number. I call this guy. I think that he just wants some freelance graphic design work done, right? And he says, "Well, hey, why don't you come in for an interview?" So I went in for this interview, and at the end of it, it was a school, it was a career tech education thing. And at the end of the interview, he's like, "Well, how do you feel about teaching a class of 20, 24 area high school students, from 5 different school districts?" And I was like, "Well, I don't have a teaching degree." And he goes, "We can work around that." And so they did. And so I started teaching vocational graphic design to high school kids. And that's what led to my, getting to know people at Mid, because that CTE program was located inside of the campus, the Mid campus in Harrison, and so I got to know the head of the art department, who I would later, after her retirement, would replace, and started teaching classes there. So you never know, how things kind of work out. I never thought I would wind up teaching or going back to school and getting a master's degree so I could, go further with that. But that's the thing, though. You never want to stop learning. Never want to stop learning. And if you're a graphic designer or an illustrator, they keep coming out with new versions of software. So you every time they come out with new version of Illustrator or something like that, you got to dive back in and see what's up. You know. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's probably enough about me. I look forward to seeing you guys's post, or posts, I should say. Excuse me, on this Moodle page here. I look forward to seeing your work this coming semester. All right. Take it easy.